Oh, hi guys. It's been a while, but I'm back with a bang. Yes. Well, I haven't had any luck for a while getting any new handcuffs or old handcuffs for the collection until recently. I finally lucked into a few that I've been wanting forever, and I'm going to show one of them to you today. This is something exceedingly rare, and I'll show you that there's a backstory. When I was reading the handcuff manual from 2007, which is a fantastic book, by the way, it's out of print, but if you can get your hands on one, I highly recommend it. There's a great article on the Maltby and Mattituck cuffs. This is Gordon wrote this, and it's just full of information, but there was one thing in here that really struck my fancy. Three things actually on the same page, and that is the bar cuff. This cuff I've wanted forever. For some reason I just like the bar cuffs in the unusual configurations. There's one on a lead chain and a 3 Maltby cuff on a huge center ring, which I don't have, but I'd like to. But this bar cuff is according to the picture, it's a detective model, which is, you know, the thinner Maltbys. And I finally got myself a Maltby bar cuff. That's right. Isn't that beautiful? Now, when I first got this, I thought it was the one from the book, from the picture. But that said detective, and this cuff is actually prison. So it's not the one in the book, which means that at least there's different models out there. So that's pretty good to know. It works just like a regular Maltby with the really kick-ass trigger action, right? And I'm gonna do close-ups of these in a little bit. Oh yeah. The one side's a little funky, but the other one works quite well. They both work great with the keys. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I love that. It came with a substitute key, but when I bought my original Maltby prison models, it came with a key that is actually stamped on it, the MMC from Waterbury, Connecticut. It's actually stamped on the key. Let's see if you can see. If not, don't worry, I'll be doing close-ups of this. I do have the detective model, which had the thinner link. It's just a little lighter in weight and a little thinner than the Maltby Prison. Look at the difference between the linkage. And I did do a video on Maltbys before. At least one, maybe more. If you compare the sizes, you can see that here's the Prison that I've had before. There's the new one on the bar. Look at that. Same thickness, same everything. Here's the detective model, the more common one, at least I found. You can see the difference. Look at how much thinner that is. So there's no question in my mind, at least, that the bar cuffs I got are actually prison models, which doesn't really mean that they were just used in prison. You know, there's been a lot of people talking about why would they put cuffs on the bar anyway? I mean, I have the Towers on the bar, Hyatt's made some on bars and stuff, and it would seem that it would, you know, just be as a weapon. It'd be a heck of a weapon. But what you have to realize is that I'm sure that they didn't just use these by themselves. You know, the prisoner, whoever was in them was probably, he was well looked after. There was probably a detective or a cop or somebody or a guard on him at all times. There's also plenty of room in here to attach a chain to go to a waist, you know, like a belly chain, or to the leg irons or any other configuration you can think of. But I love bar cuffs for some reason. I just think they're the coolest, but only the ones made in the factories. You can get, you know, there's people that modify modern Smith & Wesson and swing throughs on bars, but that's, you know, that's not something that comes from the factory. We do know that they offered these by looking in catalogs and such. Another reason I collect catalogs is so that you can actually see what was available to the people back then. That way you can tell the difference between fantasy pieces, you know, stuff that was made later, and really manufactured by the actual maker at the time. The markings on here are pretty clear. There's some, you know, wear with the age and everything, of course. You know, they were made around 1904. So it just blows my mind to think, you know, wow, this is like over 100 years old. You know, even if it was later in the production, it still surpasses, you know, it's still over a century, so it does have that history with it. The swivels are pretty decent. They're the same as the prison model, whereas the detectives, you know, just everything on the detective and the other models were just a little bit thinner. That's all. Just a little less steel and metal went into it. Made them a little bit lighter, easier to carry. You know, when they had the people in the prison, they would have like a storeroom full of this stuff, so it wasn't like the guards had to carry it around all the time. You know, you were pretty much securing the prisoners probably during certain times, like, you know, going out to court or whatever, just same exactly as they do today. Did you see this? Look at that. This is what Daddy got right there. Okay. And in this annual number 2007, from 2007, there's great photos of all the different items that the Matatuck company made. What I use these handcuff annuals for, besides the great information, is sort of like my own private checklist, you know? When I got this and I saw all the different models that Maltby put out, I was like, I want one of them, I want one of them. I still don't have the nippers. I have to get these. But, you know, as far as some of the detective models, the different linkages, there's a prison, I try to get one of each at least. And this gives me a good reference guide as to what's available, you know, at least that we know of, and I can check them off my list. So on this one, on this page, I can check that off. I still have to find these guys. Boom. And then of course we also had the round key and the Judds and the different variations that came out. Like Maltby, for some reason, especially with the flat key, they had different, Maltby had different types of lock disc covers, these little rotating discs that the key fits into for the locked, unlocked positions and so forth. Some of them were made out of brass, some sort of are like shaped like a cup, kind of. And there's all different variations of them. So far, all I have are the standard, the regular ones that you see where it's just flush with the lock case itself. I was really excited to finally add something new to the collection that I really desperately wanted. This, you know, I paid a pretty penny for them, but they were worth it because I love these things. Maltby has always been one of my favorite antique handcuffs out there. I love the shape. The trigger mechanism is phenomenal. I just think that's ingenious, the way that they did that. Now, another interesting fact that the book points out is that the earlier models, oh no, did I just lock that? The earlier models of Maltby had two sets of notches side by side. Every single example in my collection so far only has the single row of notches. So that's another thing that I have to look out for. I keep searching for. Hopefully I'll find a nice pair with the double notches. I would really like to get a pair with the double notches, but they're kind of hard to find. A friend of mine did come across a great pair, and he had them at the last Lancaster Lock Show, which was so long ago. I can't wait till the lock shows start up again. At least the ones that I can get to without flying. Not that I'm worried about flying, but it's expensive and it's hard for me to carry all this stuff on a plane. As I said in an earlier video, the Maltbys can remain in the unlocked position when the key is in a certain way, when the key is over there. And when they were ready to apply them to someone's wrist, you had to cock it, watch the trigger, ready? And it clicks up, and now it's ready. It's ready to receive the wrist. And here we go with that beautiful spring action. Oh. I don't know, that's just like music to me. That is awesome. Let's do it with this. This side won't be as good because this is the one. It just needs a little TLC. You know, he's a little grumpy with age on that one side, but that's okay. You know, when you get to a certain age, one of your knees starts to go, and that's just about it. So that does it for this edition of Off the Cuff. I'm just so happy that you guys tuned in and I was able to share this find with you. And don't worry, more videos are in the works. I have some things planned coming up that are going to be pretty cool. And coming up in the next few weeks or so, I have a very special off the cuff in the works. I have to edit it yet. A good friend of mine, an escape artist named Barry Inks, was kind enough to stop over to the house. You know, and we just had spent a great day together checking out all the different things in the collection, and he was extremely kind again and gave me a treasure trove of escape artist history. And I just can't wait to share it with you guys, but I'm still going through it. Just to show you what I mean, this is one of the boxes, okay? Anyway, stay tuned for all that stuff, and guys, just be safe out there, and I can't wait to see you again next time.